Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
This is the Team of Rivals podcast.
Everything you want to hear from the big sports to the big screen.
He's all by himself, fires into the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! No!
On into the windup and his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
He doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
Time winding down. Michael for three. Yes! She is gone!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
You believe in miracles? Yes!
Come as far when ready.
What?
Well, it finally happened. The first domino fell, and then the next one, and the next one. And the hot stove is officially on fire, and suddenly every fan base in baseball is convinced that their team is just one big move away. With the free agent market moving at warp speed, the winter meetings looming, and the rumor mill fully operational, it can only mean one thing. Everyone is about to be wrong in new and exciting ways. And speaking of historic moments that feel way bigger in our heads than they probably should,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Good evening, Cubs and Cardinals fans, and welcome back to the Team of Rivals podcast. It's Wednesday, December 3rd, and the offseason isn't just moving, it's sprinting. And with the winter meetings coming next week, things are about to go from kind of unhinged to full whiteboard conspiracy. So before we get into it, remember that we stream live like right now on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X. So if you're watching, pecker slap, like, subscribe, and share, and follow us at Team of Rivals Pod on your preferred social. As always, well, maybe not as always, but why else would we refer to him as occasional? He seems permanent. He's hardly a guest, and he's definitely a host. Here with me tonight, Elliott Dewey.
Hola.
And, of course, the target of our opprobrium, the man for whom that video was directed, TOR co-founder, number 171 on C70's 2024 Top Cards on Twitter list, the pride of Cardinal Nation, the birthday boy, Ron Nuttall.
Hey, boys.
You know, Ron, we opened with Marilyn wishing you a happy birthday, which is wild because she was closer to your age at that point than most of your favorite retired Cardinals are now.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question for you. At 50, does your Apple Watch just give up and start suggesting naps? I mean, you're what, a day into it now? So how many naps did it suggest for you today?
I don't know that it did. I didn't know that was a thing.
Coming soon, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
Don't listen to him, Ron. You don't look a day over 43.
Thank you, Elliott.
Emotionally, physically, we're going to have to go to the tape.
Right.
Ron, for the first time in a while, you look uncomfortable. You don't want to talk about your age?
I more so just ignore it. I haven't paid attention to it for the last 5 years.
That's a Gen Xer right there. Just push it. Just push all that emotion down. You
That's right.
Don't even want to feel
bottle it up and explode later on the family.
There we go.
All right. So, boys, The hot stove is heating up. Ron, you admitted that you've been kind of out of touch on it. So Elliott and I will do our best to cobble things together and pull from our fading memories in order to bring you up to speed. But guys, I think in my recent memory, this is the most active that the hot stove has been early on. Like, we didn't have that one signing, that one trade, and then things went quiet again. Like, it's been pretty steady. Elliott, help me out here. We started with the Sonny Gray trade.
Yep.
Dylan Cease signed.
Yep.
With the Blue Jays, in case you missed it, Ron, and it's reported 7 years and $210 million,
crazy.
but loads of deferrals.
Yep. And he was our number one guy to go after too. And they got cold feet again because it went over $200 million Cubs.
Well, I kind of wonder there. I mean, clearly they were in the bidding. That was reported that they were in the bidding. And you wonder, and this is not to defend them, because obviously I was banging the drum for them to sign Cease.
Mm-hmm. Both of us.
You wonder if their prediction model says that he was worth X amount of dollars, but that they're losing value if they go over that amount. And the Blue Jays were willing to. And, it's hard to question their model when they keep getting pitchers right in the free agent market. It's hard to question them. Anyway, so
I don't know.
Go ahead, Elliott.
I mean, it wasn't, if $200 million was kind of their cap, he went to the Blue Jays for 210.
Right.
But
with major deferrals, which they clearly don't want to do.
No, which it's this may be the last year that you'll be able to do that. So why not?
Speaking of which, gents, I was figuring it out. If we keep our Tuesday schedule for the next year, we will be doing an expiration day special this time next year, because Tuesday, December 1st,
excellent,
is the official expiration of the CBA. So we may have a pretty good sense of whether or not there's going to be a lockout.
We have to. I mean, we've had to shift a day. This week it's my fault, but we have to keep that one.
Your fault because you're old.
Yeah, partially.
Hey, welcome to the club, buddy.
I know you can't say anything.
I can say all kinds of things. I'm older and wiser. I've got 2 years on you. I have the benefit of experience.
I remember asking you a couple of years ago, you're out here. It's like one of the rare face-to-face shows we've done. Yep. And I asked you if it bothered you. You're like, I don't care.
I don't.
I genuinely believe that. I kind of feel the same way. Like, whatever.
It's funny. I mean, obviously, this is just going to be old guy talk tonight. We're not going to actually talk about baseball. I was talking to my mom the other day because her birthday is the day before yours, Ron. And we were talking about it. And we got into that whole feeling of, I don't feel 52. And I can tell you that, and I'm not going to say how old she is on here because, a lady never tells. But my mom does not look as old as I felt like her parents did when they were younger, when they were significantly younger.
100%. It's the same way on my side too.
Yeah.
So my dad is only 20 years older than me, like exactly. And I'd have to go look at a picture of him 20 years ago. Like, we haven't taken a ton of pictures together, but we did go to a World Series game in 2004. So close enough, right? 20-ish years ago. Mm-hmm. I feel the same way though, Pete. I'm always like, well, my grandpa seemed like he was, he looked 50, and that's what I knew as 50 or 60. That's what it looks like. And I look at myself, I'm like, no. So I don't know if it's just our own filter. Sometimes I see pictures that somebody has taken of me and I might be in the background or something, just not paying attention, not putting on my best face, not my best angle. And I look at it and go, well, yeah, I look my age. there are some pictures I see of myself where I'm like, yeah, okay, I do. But Wilfred Brimley, quite frankly, like Pete, you and I are both older than him when he was in what was that? Cocoon?
Yeah, he was in his what? He was in his 40s, right?
Yeah,
he was.
He looked like he was knocking on death's door.
Yeah, he was in a retirement home.
He was already doing diabetes commercials.
That's right.
That's right.
All right, so back to the matter at hand. So Dylan Cease, The Cardinals traded Sonny Gray. Wilson Contreras has flip-flopped on now it sounds like he's willing to accept or waive his no trade clause to get the hell out of St. Louis. Who else are we hearing? They're prioritizing getting Arenado out.
Cody Ponce.
Yeah, Cody Ponce signed with the White Sox. What are the White or not the White Sox? The White Sox.
Yeah.
Hold on. No,
Blue
Jays.
No, the Blue Jays. He signed with the Blue Jays. Anthony Kay signed with the White Sox for 2 years.
That's right.
He's now so that's funny. I was reading it this afternoon. He said, what was it, a 2-year, I think $10 million deal with a team option for year 3 or a mutual option for year 3. He's the third highest paid player on the team right now, and he's getting $5 million a year.
Because everybody else is making league minimum.
Exactly.
Or their arbitration still like early years, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess there has been a lot of activity. I was candid with you guys. I'm like, busy couple weeks here. I just haven't been able to keep up. It's been hard. I wasn't able to watch the Newcastle game yesterday either.
Oh yeah, that was good for you because Newcastle's been on a bit of a hot streak. You're like, because I was watching it while I was working here, and that was a frustrating one because it felt like
if you could really erase the last minute and like 3 or 4 of their matches, they'd have a completely different record.
Oh yeah. But we'll get into that later.
We'll get into it
because we do have RSM's return, so we'll get there. So, but yeah, it does feel like a busy hot stove, and it sounds like things are really going to pick up next week. Everybody's expecting Kyle Schwarber to sign somewhere. Kyle Tucker was spotted down in what is it, Dunedin, I think, at the Blue Jays facility today.
Yep.
Cubs fans are already in mid off-season form. They're throwing they're throwing their food bowls on the floor and banging their high chairs because the Cubs didn't sign Dylan Cease. I'm about this close to joining Ron on the rage muting of Cubs X accounts in the off season because, oh my God, they are such babies.
Just wait until Schwarber signs with the Reds.
I would actually love that. I would love to see Schwarber sign with the Reds and then the Cubs immediately turn around and trade Ian Happ there. So they can have Castellanos, Happ, and Schwarber.
Getting the outfield band back together, right?
That's right. And just watch the Cubs fans' heads explode.
Who would play center?
It'd have to be Happ.
Yeah,
well, no, they've got a center fielder, though, don't they? Yeah,
they do.
Spencer Steer, right? Isn't it Steer?
You just rotate those guys around as DHs then.
Yeah.
He'd do well there. That'd be a good ballpark for him. I mean,
for Schwarber? Oh yeah. Yeah, it would. There's talk
he'd be hitting it into the river every weekend.
Somebody said that the Giants are interested in him, and I just don't see that. That, with the exception of Barry Bonds, that park is not good for lefties.
No.
Yeah.
Especially with that weird deep right center field.
The right center field is definitely not ideal, but I think left field or the right field porch is a little bit shorter.
If you pull it hard like Barry did.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah, that's definitely Schwarber, but he's got power more than the pull. He has power to the alleys too. And it's not a great park for a power lefty. At least I don't get that sense.
Just seeing how long we can go without making a comment.
I was going to see how long we could go before you fell asleep.
No, I'm not in the nap stage yet, man.
All right.
Okay. I run on about 6 hours every night, and that's about all I do.
Okay. It's about right. So you're waking up at what, 4:00 in the morning to pee, and then up again at 5?
There's usually one of those, and I know those will get more frequent. That's fine. I enjoy it.
I bet you do.
So
Ron, the teardown is well underway in St. Louis. Sonny Gray traded. The dick fits. We finally get to drop that joke. Been sitting on that one for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. If the dick fits.
If the dick fits, you got to be careful because you might get the stubby clap.
That's a pretty good line. How long did it take you to come up with that?
About 30 seconds.
The Cardinals, they continue their tradition of having guys with just inappropriate, wrong
The
names.
best names.
Like, yeah.
The best names. Throughout their history.
So I don't know much about these two pitchers. Fitz is major league ready. The other guy's maybe
high A, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it probably sounds like a couple years away.
But he's supposed to have a pretty high ceiling.
Yeah,
if everything works out,
which is fine. You hear that shit all the time too, right? Like it's about a 1 out of 5 success rate on those, top 50 MLB rankings or whatever, right? Like so. I think they did probably about all they could do. They kicked in a lot of money, but that's probably why they got the higher ceiling guy. If they wouldn't have done that, it's Fitz and maybe some other person that's not going to do a whole heck of a lot. So they did kick in a lot of money for it, but I'd rather see them do that.
Do you think Mo picked up the phone after the details were finalized and said, "How did you not get the Rockies to kick in $10 million on that
one?" I think the league figured Mo out. I don't think he can get away with stuff like that anymore, even if he was still there. But
that's why he retired.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't fun anymore. I can't put the cheat code on. But I think they did probably about as good as they could have done with his deal. He only had a year left. I don't know what his options are after that, but
I don't. You didn't happen to catch his press conference yesterday, did you?
No.
So he was introduced in Boston, and he was asked about his time in New York and how he didn't play well, and he responded with, "I never really wanted to go there in the first place."
Yeah, right.
So I give him credit for knowing when and how to stir the pot.
Well, that'll certainly do it.
That'll be a fun one to watch this year.
Yeah, that'll be good. Best of luck to him. He was a good player to have around for a couple of years. It just they weren't in a position to really do anything for him. Other than giving him innings.
What do you think? Is that what they're going to have to do with most of their players? I mean, the guys like Arenado, Contreras, are they going to have to?
Yeah, they're going to.
I mean, obviously Arenado, they're going to have to throw some kind of a sweetener in, right? A prospect, a guy like, I don't know, not saying it's Burleson, but a guy like that, right? That has some value to make it worth the other team's while to take on Arenado's contract.
Yeah, it's. I think that's a very high possibility that they're going to have to include something along with it. They're going to have to kick money into it. And they shouldn't be afraid to do that. Look, that money is spent anyway. You're not getting out of any of it, right? Like, so if you can reduce it by half, you can reduce it by 40%, hell, even a third, you might as well just do it. And the more you are willing to more you're willing to kick in, the little bit better return you can get likely. So,
and ultimately, with where the Cardinals are right now, it's more about finding time for your young kids to play than it is about salary caps or even the return on the trade. I mean, obviously the return on the trade is important, but at this point, you got to give those young guys an opportunity to play and see what they can actually do, or not.
They gotta just rip the Band-Aid off. They know they're gonna have to kick money in. Just get it done now, so you're not bleeding this into going into the spring.
No, I totally agree. I mean, you could argue they should have done this a few years ago. I don't necessarily blame them for not doing this before 2023. 2023 was a disaster, but I mean, they had just won the division on a high. They were riding a high in 2022, although, they didn't show up too well in the playoffs. But yeah, I'd really say, they did this 2 years too late. I think is kind of where most of us are at.
And meanwhile, at the other end of the spectrum, the Brewers are reportedly shopping Freddie Peralta, who is on a deal only for $8 million, but that makes him attractive to everybody in Major League Baseball. So once again, they'll trade a player right before he becomes a free agent and gets priced out of their market, and they'll end up getting, 5 prospects, and they'll still be in contention for the division. So both of our teams could take notes.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we've unsuccessfully predicted their decline. What is it, 5 years in a row now?
They've won 4 of the last 5 division titles, and I think it's 5 of the last 8.
Yeah, it's we've counted them out. They're just a 1 year wonder here, right? Like they were in 2011. That was true then, right? They kind of went away after that, and then they figured it out. So
they did. Speaking of figuring things out, one team that didn't figure things out, at least that's the report, is the Padres. I don't know if you caught that one, Ron, but Padres are in some serious financial trouble. They're I mean, I think we had discussed it previously. They're looking at taking on buyers, but apparently they lost money, almost biblical, one would say.
Biblical proportions.
And the rumors of them trading or looking at possible Tatis trades may become a reality.
Well,
Yeah, they financially they are in some serious trouble.
Well, and one of the big things that happened to them, and it probably hit them harder than others, some that didn't hit at all, was just their TV deal.
Yeah.
It essentially went away. They didn't have any of that revenue last year.
And they pushed all in
and
it didn't pay off.
Pushed all
which
in on
is
payroll.
to all you Cubs fans who are banging the drum for the Cubs to spend money, doesn't matter on who or how much, just spend money. That's what happens when you just spend money. You become the Padres.
It's what happens when you spend money and don't make it past your first series.
Right. Well, yeah,
because
exactly.
There's
you
millions of dollars.
Indiscriminately.
Right. There's millions of dollars in ticket sales and stuff that you're missing in.
There are Cubs fans out there, and I saw one this afternoon, who are basically saying they just need to spend money. They don't have a plan. They don't have any logic or responsible spending idea. It's just the Cubs need to spend money. That's a great way to be the Padres.
Yeah.
Right. That's a great way to get nothing out of that payroll and to be stuck.
The Cubs could get away with that to a degree, though. In the market they have, like a team like the Padres doing that has always been insane. Like they have, right? Like,
well, we assume they can get away with that, but the news broke yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, Ron.
I'm just assume the answer is going to be no every time you ask.
You didn't see this. I know Elliott did, but Marquee is cutting, what is it, like 10% of their staff,
10%.
including their GM and two of their top writers or website contributors.
One of their website contributors, and then one of their marketing social media guys, Tony Andracki.
Right.
So,
and a lot of the operations are being subsumed under the Cubs. So, and that's because of revenue losses. So, maybe the assumptions that everybody has about the Cubs.
What happens when you don't put your channel on the biggest streaming service in the United States, which is YouTube TV, because you're trying to take something that is more than likely going to just get your streaming or get people to subscribe in that local market. And then if you don't live in that market, if you subscribe to the app, you're blacked out because you don't live in the market. If you want to grow baseball, get rid of the goddamn blackouts, because that is what's hurting.
How does the marquee thing work now, guys? Like, if I say I live out here and I don't want to get MLB TV for whatever reason, but I just wanted to subscribe to marquee living out here. Would I be able to?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No.
Yeah, you could.
You could subscribe, but you get blacked out of games.
No, you could you could subscribe directly to the app.
Nope. He'll get blacked out because he's not in market.
Really?
It only works if you live in market.
That's stupid.
And it's dumb.
That is what I'm talking about. The only streaming service that you can get it on,
why would they hamstring
besides like DirecTV, is Fubo TV, which is like, it's like the fourth smallest TV streaming service behind.
You sure it's not like
YouTube TV, DirecTV, and Sling?
But hold on, you sure it's not? It doesn't work a little bit like MLB.TV though. If I subscribe to Marquee, even though like I would be able to watch all the Cubs games unless they were playing a team that were from the market that I live in. Sure, it's not like that.
No, yeah. If you live in, you have to live in that market.
Why
otherwise
would they hamstring themselves that bad on that service?
It's stupid.
There's some of these stupid rights rules,
and I'm pretty sure it's not a deal that they have with MLB to where MLB is saying, hey, if you want to have that, you got to subscribe to the MLB.TV service to get all the out of market games.
Well, so, and the one thing that the out of market fans, so they're directing their own fans to subscribe to MLB.TV that don't live in market. Then is what they're basically left with doing. And now that MLB TV has a package that's a little less than like the full one, where you only get the team you select. You only get
And you would think with all the RSN problems that are happening out there, that MLB would just say, hey, listen, if you don't want to invest in whatever your own app, fine, bring it all under MLB. And then just as long as you subscribe, you can get any game that you want,
Well,
whether
I
you
think that's
live
what
in market or out of market.
I think that's what MLB is pushing for, because there was news that came out yesterday. I think it was that they've broken ground. Was it Atlanta? I don't remember. They've broken ground on their own broadcast campus. So they're looking towards the future. And I think that's going to be, I mean, obviously any kind of a salary cap, salary floor is going to be a big bone of contention next year. But I think another one within the owners is probably going to be it's inevitable when they move to a streaming package, when they move to a streaming product, how do they divide the revenue? Because you can't give the Pittsburgh Pirates the same amount of revenue from that as you give the Yankees or the Cubs or the Dodgers, right? Because especially if the Cubs ditch Marquee and just throw themselves under that, because they're going to bring far more to the table than the Pirates or the Reds are.
Yeah. And the biggest problem with Marquee is it's not the investment in the Cubs, it's the investment in everything else.
Right.
You know, because the only other thing that they did besides that investment into the Cubs in the pre and post game is they're the official pre and post for Bears.
Yeah, but do you watch them pre-post for Bears?
I do not.
No, neither do I. Do you watch the Fire or the Red Stars or
no
anything other than the Cubs on Marquee?
The only thing that I would watch on there would be Blackhawks hockey and Bears football. But none of those are going to be on there because the Blackhawks are with CSN and the Bears are going to be played nationally wherever on Fox or CBS or ESPN. So they'll never get that. The NFL is a different beast. But
Elliott's comments are reminding me of the MLS takes stray bullets all the time, right? Somebody popular, I don't remember who it was, but it was a counter-follow, and said, hey, all 4 major sports are playing today and MLS.
Right.
Well, yeah. And then you look at and Major League Baseball, and we've talked about this before, right? Like Major League Baseball is in danger of falling into that and category. Actually, really, it's not going to be long before it's NFL is playing today, and so are the other 4 sports.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure you saw the numbers for Thanksgiving Day. There were almost 55 million watching the Chiefs game. And all 3 of the games had huge.
A 5-5 Chiefs.
Yeah, a 5-5 Chiefs team. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, football's good. But again, we've talked about this before, right? When we were growing up, you were lucky. Well, with the exception of, Cubs fans and Braves fans. You were lucky if you got to see your team more than once a week on TV.
Yeah.
You hoped your team would be on Saturday baseball game of the week.
Yeah, or made the playoffs, and you could just go on a
right.
At that time, it was like hell. It was like a baseball watching orgy because you got to watch them for a week straight, but you weren't used to being able to do that.
No, you were watching Twib on Saturday morning, and then you were watching George Michael's Sports Machine on Sunday night.
And most of the country was listening to their team on the radio.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. And this is when it was the biggest sport in the United States, and now it's not because it's oversaturated. And meanwhile, the NFL creates a new event every week.
Yeah,
every week is a must-watch game.
I don't know what the perfect answer is. The way everything is arranged and the rules around it, and old antiquated deals that were there that were put in place. It's a mess. There is no like one flip the switch. We're switching over to this way of doing it tomorrow, right? Because the Yankees aren't giving up the S network,
no. And the Dodgers aren't giving up their deal, which is it's the last of its kind, really.
Yeah, it's a boatload of money. Masson in the DC area in Massachusetts, they're not walking away from that either. All that stuff's available on cable packages if you're in those local markets, right? So
yeah, but how much longer do cable packages last?
I don't know. I don't know what to believe the future is going to look like for television consumption. Mixed with on demand. I don't know what it'll look like in 10 years. How will YouTube TV change? Will it be the same or will it be something completely different? Right. So it's just
It's getting
you're-
closer and closer to what regular cable is.
that's
So
what I'm saying.
the only thing is, I don't need equipment, so I'm not paying for equipment.
It's much more convenient. You're not you're
Yes.
not on the hook for a big contract and all that
No.
stuff, right? Like
I've
so.
month to month, I can change it when I want to.
Mhm.
You know, I can a la carte it. I can get 4K if I want to, even though
And you're
they're
not locked
still-
into getting 500 channels and you only watch 3 of them.
right.
It's always
And I
fun.
will say this:
Your 2 favorite channels are like 900 channels apart.
Yeah,
the big four: ABC, NBC, CBS, and
Irrelevant.
Fox.
Other than
Please, for the
sports
love
programming.
of God, it is an abomination to have any sports game and 720p at 60 hertz. Just flip the damn
Look
switch.
at you. Look at you. First world problems.
Come on, man.
Dare you make me watch this sports contest in 720p? What the hell?
That's so 2005.
Are we cave people?
Exactly.
Speaking of watching things in 720p, did you guys happen to catch The Shuffle on HBO Max?
I saw that on there. I have not. I'm going to watch it. I've watched a couple old documentaries, probably back on when they were on VHS cassette. Right, like
Yep.
I haven't seen one in a very long time, but I am going to watch that.
I sat the lad down this past weekend. He was with me.
Yeah.
And it's only 40 minutes. You can do it over dinner. The nostalgia was thick, boys.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. And I had told him about it. And
Yeah.
so he was like pressing me on something. He said, I thought you said that they did it this time. And I was like, yeah, that's what I remembered. But I was in 7th grade, man. I was your age. But it's good. Definitely take the time
I
to watch.
recorded that, I think, the day after my birthday. The only game they lost that year.
That's right. They
Yep.
recorded it the day after the Dolphins lost.
That's probably
And they
so
talk
far.
about that in the doc. They talk about how they didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And I
don't
didn't realize just how integral Willie Galt was in the whole process.
Well, I remember even being like 9 years old. I turned 10 that December.
Yep.
I even remember when that came out. I'm like, boy, they better win.
That's what
They
they
better
were.
win the whole thing.
They talk
I
about
wasn't
that in the
thinking
doc.
that then, though. Even as a young kid.
They talk about that in the doc.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I mean,
I will watch it.
That seems like as good an opportunity as any to transition, don't you think?
Um,
We covered baseball for half an hour.
Yeah, before we do that, one couple.
Hey,
comments.
at least there's one thing we did gloss over in the baseball section is we had a real scare for the Cardinals where we thought Pozo was gone, and then they
That's
reeled
right.
him back
Elliott.
in.
That's right.
You ass. That's exactly where I was going.
Oh, were you?
How could we-
I'm sorry.
How could we shoot past the re-upping of Yahel Pozo? Like how? Why would we blow past that move?
Let me ask you guys something because I was thinking about it. After they signed him, and then there's been just interest in the Cubs having Moises Ballesteros coming up this year and playing. Is it a generational thing? Is it an American thing that we celebrate these fat baseball players? Like, think about how
Big
beloved
sexy.
these guys are.
Yeah.
They
Right?
are all of them, man, and you never forget. Their
And always
names.
have been. John Kruk and
Bob
and
Hamlin,
Alfonseca, Fielder.
Big Sexy.
Yeah, like you think about all these fat guys, or is it just that we can connect with them because they don't look like athletes, and we used to be athletes at one point, and it's like, oh well, if they can do it, then I'm still kind of connected to my glory days.
Well, it goes. I think it goes back to we're not athletes; we're baseball players.
Yeah,
It could be that too.
yeah. You even look at the Will Clark is definitely not in that class of heavy
No.
baseball players, but you just look at the physique of some of those guys too. Like
Okay, like
if you
Lance
look at
Berkman.
Will Clark in street clothes, or Greg Maddux for that instance. You look at these guys in street clothes, you're like, how?
Right.
But they're just damn good baseball players. They didn't have Kyle Farnsworth like physiques, and they weren't machines that this is all they did year round, and they, Jake Arrieta do Pilates and watching their diet and not eating a carb for 6 years. Like these guys just, they look normal, right? And you see a guy that's a little bit heavier, and he looks like guy you see looking at the grocery store or at the bar. And I think that's what's kind of cool about it.
Yeah, I think it's changed now, but when we were growing up, I think far more pitchers looked like Eddie Ross from
Rick
Major
Russell.
League than looked like Kyle Farnsworth, right?
Oh,
Like they got,
sure. Yeah.
hey,
Kyle
what's
Farnsworth was
that shit on your chest?
Farnsworth was
Wrestling.
definitely unique at his time.
Yeah, in his
Um,
time. Now he's kind of par for the course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dime a dozen.
Yeah. So
All right.
did you
Thanks, Elliott, for stealing my-
raise a glass, Ron, for Yohel when you heard the news?
I'm internally, yeah, sure.
Are they really going to carry 4 catchers?
I think where
Is
I would
Contreras still considered the catcher?
No, that's not even counting Contreras.
Well, I don't
That's a lot of
expect
catchers.
Pages is going to be much of a factor. I really don't. The first question I'll go to is what? My God, am I really this off of my game here?
Herrera?
Thank you. What are they going to, is he going to catch again or not? I think that's where I would start. And if he does do that, now they're not going to carry 4 catchers. I don't even know if they'll carry, they might carry 3 with, or 2 catchers. And I think Contreras is an emergency backup because he can still do it.
If he's still there.
Right. That's a big question. If, yeah, there you go. I expect the Cardinals to go beyond just the obvious getting older guys out of the way with their big high salaries. I do think that they'll listen in on just about anyone right now, not named JJ Weatherhold or Mason Wynn.
Yeah.
And I think it's more likely that a couple of those guys go. And to your point you made earlier, Pete, it might be that some of the younger players like Nolan Gorman are just attached to a deal for one of the other guys. So I do think we'll see hopefully another 2 to 3 notable moves that they make before we get to February. And that's how I think it's going to go.
And I think things are really going to pick up next week. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot to talk about just by next Tuesday.
Really good for the baseball offseason that these many things are happening though, because we've been through some pretty brutal years. And you're right, you're dead on. Like somebody signed somebody early because they were competing with themselves and overpaid for it, and then shit just goes quiet for weeks and weeks and weeks. And all the Boris clients signed into spring training.
Yep. Oh, and gosh, I forgot that the Cubs were involved. We didn't even mention that. Phil, is it Maton? How have we agreed on how we're pronouncing it?
Maton is how.
Okay, so Phil Maton signed with the Cubs for 2 years, and I think with the 3rd-year option. Isn't that right, Elliott?
Yeah. He's a good bullpen arm.
Yeah.
They
They seem excited.
Only good signing that they had last year.
They jumped the market to get him, so they seem pretty convinced.
Well, they saw enough of him up close, so
yeah, exactly. All right, well, guys, before we dive into the Bears, how about a quick word from our newest sponsor? You didn't know about this one, did you, Ron? We got a new sponsor with a live ad read. Happy 50th, Ron, brought to you by Memory Insurance. Because let's face it, turning 50 is hard. You might forget where you put your keys, or what day it is, or that you already gave a hot take on the Cards bullpen last week. Memory Insurance guarantees that if you ever forget a trade rumor, a Bears score, or the rules of offside in soccer, you'll receive unlimited reminders from a team of highly trained interns who may or may not also mock you daily. Call now, and you'll also receive 1 free AARP card, valid for all the retired thoughts you'll have while rage blocking accounts on X. Ron, congratulations on 50 years of wisdom, terrible memory, and relentless sports hot takes. Memory Insurance, because even legends forget sometimes.
You had me for a second there.
I was having some fun this afternoon.
Oh, sure.
All right, Bears. Gents.
Getting real.
What are we getting excited at? They're leading the division. They're the number 1 seed in the NFC. There's actually confidence going into Lambeau Field. Like, this is not like last year where we were hoping that they would just show well. I think I speak for most of Bears Nation when I say I feel good about their chances going into the game.
Oh yeah. I feel good, but I think the one thing that concerns me, the biggest thing that concerns me right now, is all the critics, the Cowherd type of guys, are now acknowledging that the Bears are pretty legit. And I would rather them stay in their side that they were earlier and just say, Caleb ain't all that. He's not convinced me. This
Well,
Bears
he's
team-
not. I will give them that. He's not all that, but he's also a second-year quarterback.
But he's also not as shit as what most
with
of
a
these guys
with another brand new scheme.
Yes.
Right. So I would have rather those guys. I'd feel better about everything right now if those guys would have just stayed skeptical and said the Bears had a really soft schedule up to most recent games have been good tests for them, but everything before that you could say this is one of the softest schedules in football. I'd rather them have stayed there.
Yeah, but it's hard to do that when you beat the defending Super Bowl champs.
And the Bears
handily,
and it wasn't that hard, right? Like it wasn't a blowout, but I mean they had the lead.
If they had
ran for 260 yards on the Eagles with one of the best defensive lines in the NFL,
I'd say of all things that we saw in that game, guys, like the way the offensive line almost on both sides.
Oh my God.
Really took it to the Eagles. That run game looked fantastic. We haven't seen that for such a long time, man. And mixing the run in and I loved everything about that game. They had the lead the entire time. It was tied briefly there 10-10 for a little while, but they were never down. And so
it never felt like they were down. It never felt like they were like doing that struggle thing where because they weren't going 3 and out. They weren't going. They were driving the ball a little bit, and maybe they would get caught on something or have a bad series, but they weren't. It wasn't have the ball for a minute and 15 seconds and punt. It was a couple of sustained drives.
Yep.
It was weird to watch.
Yep. And Caleb didn't have his best game. And this isn't to make excuses for him, but clearly the wind was an issue for everybody, for both quarterbacks, for the kickers. Like it was an issue. The turf was clearly an issue because you had 2 or 3 Bears receivers fall down running their routes, and that happened with the Eagles as well. Like I have no expectations for this year. Like we talked early in the season, and I said I would be thrilled if they got 9 wins. And ecstatic if they made it to the playoffs, and we may get both of those by this week. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying there's that possibility of both of those happening. I mean, obviously they already have 9 wins, but just what?
Yeah, they got it before December, Pete. Which
I know.
Yeah,
but what this bodes for the future, right? Like the run game is the easy part, right? It's easy to implement the run game. And they seem to have finally locked that down. The first 2 weeks were a struggle, but the run game seems to have been locked down. And the passing is just a more complex part of a modern NFL offense, and they're making progress. And I just wonder, I don't know that it's necessarily going to click this year, but man, the potential for next year when Ben has a full offseason to work with Caleb and the wide receivers and the offensive line.
Well, we got a run game that is able to do what we've been watching them do. That's sure that will certainly open up the passing game because it has to. So that's a really good sign. I agree with everything you just said. Like this year plus another one. Yeah, I mean they should. They're bringing most guys back next year, and I think on paper it seems like they would be. This should be a pretty good team, but. I am remembering it's I know things are supposed to be different. Ben Johnson takes his shirt off in the locker room and all that stuff. It's still the Bear. I do not want to get out in front of my skis too much. It's hard not to because I want to. But I'm not.
And as a Bears fan, this could totally blow apart, and they can end the season with still 9 wins. I mean,
I think they'll get to 10.
They should beat
11.
They should beat the Browns.
Should beat the Browns. I think they'll beat the Packers.
The Packers didn't beat the Browns.
Packers didn't beat the Eagles.
I will say, I think my take on what I've seen online from Packers fans this week is fear. Like they've had the better of it for so long that they're worried that, oh no, the Bears are good again. And so they're talking them down.
And so basically what you're seeing is Cardinals fans of 2015, 2016, right? Because it's the same situation.
Yeah. Oh, your quarterback's no good. You're right. Your quarterback is 5 years older than ours and got to sit behind a Hall of Famer for 3 years and learn. I would hope your quarterback is better than ours.
And surrounded by a much better organization with,
100%. So yes, I hope that your quarterback in year, 6, 8 is better than our quarterback. I hope so. If he's not, get ready for some pain.
Fear is this. Yeah, you're right. It's not going to stay that way. Like the Bears are going to make a run for a few years here, and they're going to have to live with it.
Right.
Exactly. And the real nice thing is getting back some of our other defensive pieces that we did not have during the Eagles game.
Tell you what, that's been an interesting subject in and of its own, right? How many guys have had to step up from practice squad or whatever, right? To plug or to a Band-Aid for a week here and there, right? And they've stepped up and they've actually done really well.
And Nahshon Wright has just played his ass off onto this team.
Well, that might be my favorite thing of the game on Friday was the turnover on the tush push.
Yeah.
How would you think that would? You think that'd be one of the safest running plays ever created, where a fumble doesn't occur,
right?
And when
put your head down and cover the ball and just go forward.
Wasn't it Wright that stripped that ball out?
Yeah,
yep, it was. Yeah. And he mentioned that, and it wasn't something that they had harped on or pointed out in their film work, but he noticed that Jalen tended to be a little careless with the ball in the tush push, and we saw it. What was it, 3 or 4 weeks ago? Where he fumbled against, was it the Cowboys maybe? I don't remember. He fumbled against someone, or the Giants, I think it was. But the refs incorrectly blew the play dead. Yeah, and this time they didn't. And he mentioned that he had seen during the film work that Jalen didn't actually protect the ball too well because he was relying on just being buried under a mass of bodies, and that nobody would be able to get it, and then nobody's going to come around. Why would you come around the edge? Like there's no play to be made over there. Yeah. But Nahshon saw that. But let's not get too excited about Nahshon because he's given up like 7 touchdowns this year. So he's he's boomer bust. But it is good. It has been good to see him kind of redeemed, right? Because when the Bears signed him, everybody was like, "What are they doing?" Right? Him. Really, like this guy, and I think that's credit to Dennis Allen and his ability to put players in position to succeed. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is another example, right?
Yeah, no, it's having fun right now, guys. And if it all collapses, well, we've been there for so long, it won't.
Yep.
We've had a good 5 weeks as the Bears went 5-0 in November.
In November, yeah.
5-0 November.
Yep. Is it time, Ron?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Oh, all right. Good. King hasn't returned. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parrish aren't walking through that door. But Ron's Soccer Minute is back, baby.
I'll have to go back and listen to that one.
But before you begin,
I
just want to note, this is Ron's first Soccer Minute as a 50-year-old man.
That's something. Nothing to get very excited about. It was it was a 1-1-1 week, I think. They had a 2-1 loss at Marseille in the Champions League. Of course, it's one of those games where Newcastle goes up 1-0 and ends up losing it 2-1 or 3-1. So it's kind of a repeat of that. Marseille, I don't know much about. I don't know a lot about the history from what I hear and what you read. It's a tough place to play as a visitor, I guess. And so, Champions League, they still have one of the top records. They're in the top 10 in the Champions League, so they're doing fine. It's the Premier League that's been the bugaboo for them. So before that, they actually beat I believe they're still sitting in the second place in the Premier League, and that'd be Man City. They took care of them at home 2-1, lost to Marseille. And then this last weekend, in the dreaded green road shirt that they have, they ended up winning that game against Everton in pretty convincing fashion. Like 4-1 was the score. And then to come back, it's a tough one. I didn't get to watch it because work was busy and interesting and all the other things yesterday, so I wasn't able to sit down and watch the Newcastle game. But they had it. They were up 2-1 the very last minute in stoppage time. They gave up a slow motion bicycle goal to Tottenham and ended up drawing that one. So we're starting to inch closer now to the winter transfer window. So there are a couple of rumors that are swirling about. Newcastle does have some money to spend, but they also have teams like Manchester United, if you believe rumors, that are interested in some of the Newcastle players, or at least one of them. And Harvey Barnes is rumored, and I believe a German team is interested or coveting one of their forward centers, Willow Sula, very young guy. So they're looking at possibilities, whether it's a loan, whether it's just an outright sale. So there'll be some tweaks, I believe, in January for Newcastle. And the thing that we're all watching right now is, when is Yohan Wissa finally going to return to the pitch? If you don't know, he's somebody they acquired from Brentford. Went to on an international assignment for his home country, and took a knock and has been out pretty much ever since. So he's not going to return to international duty. He's not going to participate in the AFCON Cup, which is good news. So they're not going to risk that again. So they've spent $55 million in a transfer fee at the beginning of the year just to get him on the team, and he hasn't been able to play yet. But he's now on the pitch training, and hopefully, he's back. Perhaps even by the weekend. Now he's not going to start, but they might bring him in the last 30 minutes. I'm sure it'll be. It won't be an extended period of time, but at least it'll be good to see him back on the pitch, because they do need another center forward pretty bad. So that's something to keep an eye on. As far as MLS, man, there ain't no news whatsoever. City just still has not identified their permanent head coach. So that's still up in the air. The only other noteworthy thing to speak about the MLS is MLS Cup's coming up this weekend. Miami versus Vancouver. I did watch the Vancouver game in the conference final, and they absolutely kicked the shit out of I don't even remember who they're playing. Doesn't matter, because they dominated that whole game. And out of all the soccer I've watched this year in all competitions, Premier League, Champions League, I have not seen a team move a ball around. Oh, San Diego's who they played. San Diego. They're in their inaugural season. So they had a fantastic year, and they won the Western Conference as a brand new team. So a huge accomplishment for them. But Vancouver just moved the ball as quick and as sharp as anybody I've seen in any league this year, guys. And I'm counting the Premier League too. I realize it's a different level competition, right? But I think Vancouver, and my soccer podcast co-host agrees, I think Vancouver is going to smoke Miami. I think it's going to be, they're going to double the score up on them. I don't think it's going to be a close game because Vancouver looked that good last weekend. But I'll probably be wrong, because it is Messi and his, playing by Miami rules. They've got all the good players over there, but yeah, I think Vancouver just looks too sharp. So I'll catch a little bit of that one, but sorry, not a lot of City news.
Ron, I think you sold things short, though, because you said not anything else. And I don't think that the last time that we got together, I don't think that they had announced the change to the schedule, that MLS is shifting.
We kind of went over it a little bit.
Did we?
Touched on it, but now that we know more detail on it. Yeah, thanks for throwing that in there, Pete, because that was something I talked about a couple days ago, because we did record an At the Park episode. But so they did change the schedule to align with the rest of the world, or at least with Europe. So their season will start mid-July and it'll run through May. They'll take a big winter break from mid-December to the beginning of February, which is kind of weird. But like the Premier League doesn't start until early September or very late August. So just a little bit of a head scratcher. Like, if you're going to align, just goddamn align, and align all the way, and don't take such a huge break in the middle of the year. And then, maybe that's why your season can still end in May. And these guys have all of July until they, get back and start training sometime mid-July to August or whatever. So they actually have a break. It's just like the MLS, I think, made the right choice, but they only went 80% there. So it's just like a little silly. Chris and I talked about that. It's like, I think they're starting it too early. And one of the rationales might be, well, it's warmer months and, we want to make sure that these northern cities can host more games without, adverse weather conditions and all that. Well, sorry, but Europe has those too, and they seem to get along just fine. I mean, do you think in England is what was it, like a tropical climate there? That's why they play over the winter? It's not. So if they were going to align, I would just like to see them do it and align completely and not like do the weird MLS thing where we're still going to do it different. I don't know. I think in a couple years we'll see it. We'll see them push that back to where they will start all about the same time, which would be kind of nice. But
you wonder if they'll build the schedules so that teams like the Fire will be on the road in a lot in December and February, right? Because I don't foresee them playing a lot of games. If the Fire had been at home this past Saturday, television coverage would have been a little tough.
Yeah, no, totally get it. And Minnesota would fall in that same boat too, right? Like, so I get
Unless
it.
you get indoor stadiums,
right? Yeah, and I don't know if how many of these stadiums can adapt to a dome like overnight or over a year. Like maybe they can, but I think in a couple years we'll see that alignment kind of. We'll see it closer to 100% rather than like 80. So it should happen. It'd be good.
Yep.
It'll solve a lot of problems in terms of like, here we're playing the MLS Cup this weekend. Right as we get into the final stretch of NFL games. So they're competing against all of that, competing against college football still humming along. So it's just kind of shit, and then the transfer window for the summer, for FIFA, you get your new player on the MLS and it takes them a few weeks to get in and maybe get fitness to a level where they can compete. You get a player from Europe and then you get to enjoy them for like 8 or 9 matches and that's it. And then you got to wait until next year. So at least with this one, if you do make a summer transfer deal, you get your player for the full year. So that's a good change too. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
That's all I got.
Appreciate you. Well, I don't think we've got time for me to do a full-on movie minute, but maybe we can pair it up with Elliott's gaming minute next week.
There we go. Yeah.
I will say this though. Did either of you guys see this movie Sisu when it originally came out?
No.
It's a Finnish movie. SISU. I think it was 2022. And I had wanted to see it and I never saw it in theaters. I think it's on Tubi now. So you got to watch commercials and everything. But it's set at the end of World War II. And it's about it. Just see it. It's brutal. It's a outstanding action flick. And it is just what it has no pretensions to be anything else other than an over the top action flick. And it's really good. And the reason I bring it up is because the sequel, Sisu Road to Revenge, just came out in the last week or two. And it's more of the same. If anything, it's a little bit more over the top. First one's Sisu versus or is about the main character versus the Nazis. This one's about the main character versus the communists. So.
When you were saying Sisu, I thought for a second you were talking about Raya, that Disney Netflix, that Pixar movie.
It's definitely not a Pixar movie.
It's the dragon character on there. His name is Sisu, and I thought for sure.
Nope.
Is that the one where it's voiced by Aquafina?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know who that is. Anyway, that was the dragon's name, and I thought for a second, Pete, wow, really? Like you really want to watch that?
Nope.
I watched it with my daughter probably 50 times, but okay.
Although I will say, since we're talking about kids, I think the lad and I are going to catch Anaconda over Christmas break.
Oh, nice.
The boys have seen Predator, the original one.
Yeah.
I let my daughter finally watch it. Like, what the hell? She's around. She has 2 older brothers. She's going to see this shit eventually, right?
Yeah.
She loved it. But I did take the boys a few weeks ago to see Badlands.
Yeah.
Which I might have talked about it on here.
We
But
did.
I just watched it.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's not like it's not going to win an Oscar for anything, but it's entertaining. I liked it.
I think it's one of the best ones that they've done besides the animated one that they just released.
I did. Since you were advocating for that one, we did. Me and the boys watched that one too.
All right. Well, since we're
Pretty
doing
good.
since we're doing a little bit of the movie minute, I'm just going to throw that up in the corner. I will say this.
Yep.
Save your money. Just go ahead and rewatch the, what was it, 1983 Running Man.
Oh, yeah, that one didn't really. Saw the trailer. That one doesn't.
I saw it. I was hopeful that, like, because the original was really cheesy, you know?
Yeah, but that's.
But you know what?
About it.
Exactly. That's why it worked. This one took itself too seriously. It was, I know that they made a big deal about it trying to be a lot closer to Stephen King's original short story and to adhere more to his ideas and his message and everything. And it was pretentious. It was too serious. It was overlong. It was 2.5 hours. Like there's just no reason there's no reason for movies to be 2.5 hours long. I've decided if I ever do become a critic, it's going to be the watch test. At what point did I look at my watch to see how much longer I was going to have to watch this? Sisu, I never looked at my watch. Neither Sisu nor Sisu Road to Revenge.
The first
Running
time
Man.
You did
an hour in.
Yeah,
an hour in. I looked at my watch. I was like, oh shit.
I've looked at my watch not in that way on a few occasions because maybe it's a movie I was really enjoying and I knew the runtime and I'm willing to go. I hope we're not 80% through this thing. So I'm enjoying it, just to check in that way.
Yep.
But the movie I go back to that I shocked 3 hours went by. That was the very first time I saw Lord of the Rings. So I knew nothing about the story. I'm not one that I didn't read the Tolkien books. The only thing I picked up on was in the what do you call it? The upfront,
the prologue.
Prologue. Yeah. Thank you. When they talked about the creature Gollum, I remember that name from the old Hobbit cartoons from like the late 70s and early 80s. Mm-hmm. Only thing I picked up on, and I remember watching those because my uncle had them on those big ass CED discs that I talked to you guys about. Mm-hmm. So I knew nothing about it. So it was a brand new story for me. And visually at that point in time in 2001, that was something to really see. Right. So that one to me, it's like, holy shit, was that 3 hours already?
Yeah.
Of course, when you watch it over again, 20 years later, you're like, oh my God, I can't sit in front of the TV for 3 hours.
Well, that's because you're trying to watch the extended edition, Ron.
I've tried to watch that. When those launched on DVD the first time, at least you could go to the extended part. You don't have to watch the whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the runtime on, I think it's Return of the King. Can't remember which one. The runtime on one of them is 4.5 hours.
With the extended version?
Yeah.
It's
on one.
Yeah.
One movie.
I'm not watching that.
Pete. Not me, Pete Jackson, obviously. Dude.
Well, they want to get their, well, it's just, you sell a fresh wave of, DVD at the time. You sell a brand new wave of releases because there's footage on there that nobody's seen. Yep. So
that's right.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. Make sure you drop a comment, subscribe, leave that 5-star review, and most importantly, tell your friends that Team of Rivals is the only podcast brave enough to talk Cubs, Cardinals, Bears, and soccer in the same hour. You can find the podcast on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere else you get your podcasts, and you can watch us live every week here on X, Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow us on social media. You'll find Elliott at
TOR_Elliott.
And you'll find Ron at?
You're fine. Just look my name up. It's there. It's easy.
And come on, you got to drop it because I did listen to the new episode.
Oh, at the Park STL.
At the Park STL.
Yeah. For all your St. Louis City and then Premier League talk that works its way in there somehow that has nothing to do with the title or the purpose of the show.
That's right. And I do have to say I was a little bit proud that I did drop a little message to Chris, and he immediately responded this weekend when Liverpool was, or I'm sorry, when Newcastle was just taking it to him, and I sent a message and I said, "Can you please go check on Ron because I don't think he remembers how to deal with this level of sports ecstasy in a 48-hour period." It was a good 48 hours for you from Friday afternoon through Saturday.
It was good. Yeah. No, it was perfect.
And then yesterday happened.
I even had the green Newcastle road shirt on, and they had
Did
won
you?
in that one. In the Premier League. They hadn't won in that one, so
Yeah.
they did 4-1.
Nice.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that was an impressive win.
Yeah.
And
then
and quickly they came out of the gate like
and then they drew against Tottenham at home.
Yeah.
Man.
And it was a typical Newcastle performance. They took the lead, they gave it back. They took the lead, they gave it back.
Final stoppage minute. Yep. Like I said, I think before we went on, it was like if they could just get 3 of those minutes back across several games, and they would have it would look different.
Yep. Obviously, you can follow the show on socials at Team of Rivals Pod, and you can also send Ron birthday greetings on social, or you can shoot us an email, and I'll just make sure that Ron catches it at teamofrivalspodcast@gmail.com. And as always, we'll see you next week, assuming, of course, that Ron doesn't wander off during the intro looking for his new AARP card. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.